So, the Love Podcast, Goku, my first guest, man.
Let's
you know what I'm
get it.
saying? This guy
That's
here,
right.
man, met him about 3-4 years ago. He has so much knowledge, so much things that he's taught me. So I figured, all right, bet. I'll bring him on my podcast. You know, it's about love, light. It's about enlightening the world. And I guess we're going to start off by just telling the people, like your story, you know what I'm saying? Initially, before you moved to Central America, what was going through your mind and what brought you to that point where you were like, you know what, I'm going to make this move?
Yeah. So for me, I always knew that there was something more than the lifestyle I was already living, but I just didn't know what it was. And so it was like this wave of consciousness that came around 2015 and 2016 that just was like a spark plug, I think, for like the world. I think the world kind of felt it, and those who started to actually grab the wisdom, they started to absorb that and see that into their life. And so around 2016, I lost I lost my first daughter. I have a son, but I had a daughter in 2015, and at that time, her birth is it was new to me. That feeling of giving birth to a female. Male is different because it's like, with a boy, it's like you feel that masculine, like you're gonna be, you're gonna be strong, you're gonna be tough. With a girl, it's like you gotta be more fragile. And so that fragile part of my soul, that feminine part of my soul came out, and I didn't want to be the reason that another female would come in disconnected, didn't know herself, didn't know her value. And so it made me really go hard on like the knowledge and the wisdom. And I came across Dr. Sabi. And I'm one of the people that, once I get the information, I'm going to apply it. And I can apply it right then. Like, it's not hard for me to be disciplined. Once I've confirmed that this is right and this is what's best for me, then that's what I'm going to do.
Exactly.
And so I got the Dr. Sabi wisdom, and I started applying it into my lifestyle and, raising my little girl. And in 2016, unfortunate situations happened. Her mother and her left me to go to Arizona, and they was gone for 3 days. When they got there, whatever happened with that situation, she ended up losing her life.
Wow.
And that just caused they caused like a huge fire in me. I couldn't be around that environment no more. You see what I'm saying? Because my mind was just not in the state. I wasn't in a mental, emotional.
And where were you? You were.
I was in Atlanta.
Oh, and it's so good.
Yeah. So
damn.
And they went to Arizona, and so in that same week, my granddad had lost his life to cancer. And so all this happening after I had got all the wisdom on Dr. Sabi thing. And so at that time, it was a guy called Nature Boy. This Nature Boy Elijah. He was speaking about going to Honduras, and it was resonated with me because I was like, you know what? I felt that Dr. Sabi energy, and I need to get out. And he reached out to me, and it made me think about leaving the country. And so I went ahead and confirmed that within myself. I looked at a country with $81. I looked at life and I said, take over. I was ready to heal. I was ready to become my true self. I wanted to know who I really was, and I wanted to strengthen my connection with nature from learning everything about natural foods and local foods and being close to the environment. I had never really experienced that. So, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna do the work, and I'm gonna go heal. And so that's what inspired me to get out of the country. Because I know that I can't heal in the same environment that makes me sick. I know that it wasn't resonating with me going to a job every day, not feeling emotionally and mentally stable within myself.
For sure.
You see? And a lot of times the people in the States, we force ourselves to do that because we're attached to obligation, we're attached to situations.
We're scared.
With fear and the ideals. And even just leaving the country, like you never left the country, you don't know what's out there, and you see things in the news. So that fear mindset of not knowing you're going to be safe, not knowing things are going to be taken care of. And so it was more like a surrender, and I left.
So initially when you left, like having less than $100 in your mind, like what was you thinking? Like you had already a setup. You was like, I bet I'm going to this place with people I already knew were there. Like what was the setup of where you went?
And see, for me, it was more like a surrender. I had got deep into meditation in that same year between 2015 and 16, and I could hear the voice and I can hear the call of life, where they say that light or the sun or the breath or God, whatever you want to call it. I can hear that voice telling me that to just trust. And so I had, and in that same year, I was also, this is when I started teaching about the wisdom too. So I was teaching, and so it was a young lady named Tay, and she reached out to me, and she And this was part of my trust. She reached out to me. She liked the video. She heard what I was. She heard I wanted to leave, and she was willing to invest into both of us leaving if I would travel with her.
I
You
see. Okay.
And so, and we did end up talking, and we end up, going together and getting a relationship. But initially, she had seen my light, and it's just like the light was talking to me. Like, people going to see you. You're inspiring people. If you just put it out there, then things are going to happen. So I followed that, and this is where we get into releasing that fear and trusting that something is at work bigger than yourself.
So things were just lined up for you. Once you went on the path, you were like, wow, this shit lined up. Okay.
Yes, things started lining up. Things start what they call alignment. It started aligning for you.
And then, so how long were you in Honduras for?
I was there for like 5 years. I ain't leave for like 5 years.
And what was
the whole COVID thing, through the Katrina, I was there the whole time.
What would you say would be the most profound experience while you were in Honduras? Like something that you was just like, yo, this is crazy.
This is when we finna dive into psychedelics.
I mean, we're gonna talk about psychedelics.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about, your higher self. We're gonna talk about transcendent reality. I want to hear about all these, metaphysical things that people think are crazy in the United States of America. Like, what was your wow moment where you were like, wow, like this is crazy?
And that's why I said we're gonna get into psychedelics. Because what it was that I went to this. So originally, I went to the Nature Boys camps for like a week, and it just wasn't, things wasn't just aligning with how they wanted to move. And me, I really came to heal. I wasn't really focused on a group or a setting. I did want to, I didn't mind bonding with people, but my mind was focused. And if it was aside from that focus of healing myself, of raw foods, of fasting, of meditation, of grounding, of connecting with nature, and I couldn't do it at my leisure, then it wasn't going to work out. And so while I was there, it was a guy named Kerry, and he used to cook for Dr. Sebi, and it was 15 minutes away from Dr. Sebi.
At this point, Dr. Sebi was still alive, or had he passed away?
Yeah, passed. Yeah,
passed.
Okay. It was they hold away, like he was alive before I left and dead when I had left. So
wow.
It was like right in that little cycle. And I had met his daughter and his family and stuff too when I was in Atlanta.
You met Dr. Sebi ever?
His daughter. No, not him in person, but I met his daughter and I met his family members. And then I met, like I said, the dude that was the next village I went to. He cooked for Dr. Sebi, and
that's
he had
crazy.
His own village. And he had reached out to me before, but some little humor for the podcast. That he was on his land, right? And he in this big ass geothermal water, right? And he got like this huge land, but it's just him in the water. You know what I'm saying? And so he's like, "Yeah, man, y'all got this land. Come on out here and get you some." And I'm looking at him, and like the way he said it, and it turns out like he liked women. I said, but it's just the way he said it, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, dog.
Exactly.
Like, you look a little alone on the land by yourself. But but at this time, I didn't know that men were attracted to the wisdom too.
Yeah.
So he wasn't that he just really saw me in that way. He was like, you'd be beneficial to the land, and that he also wanted me to come and attract others to let them know that they can be here. And that's what he was trying to do. He basically trying to give me like a place where people can come. That he had this big land.
Exactly.
And he was inspired by what we was doing, and he wanted to help.
No
so
doubt.
I ended up going there. His name was Kerry Jackson. And it was like 19 of us there. This is when we were talking about Zach and Soul Rock.
Yeah.
This is when we was all in that land right there.
Wow.
And so
but the land was nice. It was
nice.
Yeah, vegetation on there.
Vegetation, the cows, the fruit,
wow.
All types of fruit. The geothermal water, the geothermal water that Dr. Sebi was talking about?
Yeah.
It was running through our village.
That's crazy.
The sacred springs of the mountain, he was talking about you drink from this water. Like, yeah, so that's a spring.
So he was set up.
Yeah, he was set up.
But he was from Honduras though, that guy.
No, he's not from. He was from the States. He'd been there 17 years though. But he came there and he was OG
for sure.
So he was there like 17 years, and he was just waiting on this moment for this to kick into the rest of the world. So, he had all that on his land, and my most profound experience happened when my first mushroom that I ate. And what happened was that, see, unlike everybody else, I wasn't looking for mushrooms. I didn't go studying them. I didn't know about a microdose. I didn't know nothing of that. I was just there, and he had told me about them. He was like, "Yeah, they help. They help expand your mind. They help you with the cleansing. And they help connect you with nature. It's a good thing. So."
So he knew about the mushrooms. That dude.
Yeah, he had cows. They was growing out the yard.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I asked about them, and I felt the energy from them. I could feel them. I felt like the pull.
Yeah.
And so I asked about it. I said, "Oh, these are what they talking about." And so my first mushroom was never like inorganic. It was like fresh, straight from Honduras. Man.
Yeah, for sure.
So when I ate it, the first mushroom I ate, I heard a voice I had never heard in my life. Like beside me, it was like, "Keep eating me," so I say, "Stop." And it was like a planet. The mushrooms were talking to me, and every time I ate one, and it came a sure signal that once I ate enough, it was like, that's it. man, and this is when it was just an explosion in my mind. It's like I could see creation from like the beginning to end. I can see like connection from nature. It's like like my eyes, and it's like it was no separation between you and trees and plants and animals and other people and humans too. It's not excluding us, but it was no disconnection from you and your environment. And you start to realize that God is always with you. That force of energy is always with you. It's you that's been disconnected from the real world, from the organic world. That's the only real world. And then we make stuff and we build things from this organic world, which is then the artificial things or the co-created things. And so most of us are never connected with that organic world. And this is one thing when we type the psychedelics, what they do is that the primary thing they do is bring you back to the most original state of yourself and the organic world around you, and your responsibility and your purpose with that, you see, and allowing that true purpose and that true self to begin to express itself, and allowing them traumas and the deprogramming can start at a deep level.
Exactly.
You see, so it helps you deprogram yourself.
So you think in the States or like, Western society, that's probably why they call these things like grade A psychedelics, like drugs, because then you won't be able to function in a system if you start to like take these things.
Yeah, and that's what it is that without psychedelics, and it's like they have their version of psychedelics, which is just the artificial processed foods, because this is what it is. They use these, it's word manipulation and spell casting. Because when we say psychedelic, that means something that affects your mind, mood, and behavior.
Exactly.
This just happens to be
like your psychology.
So this just happens to be the substance that affects it in a positive way. But things that affects it in a negative way is legal, because processed food is a psychedelic. It affects your mind, mood, and behavior.
Alcohol.
It's a psychedelic.
Cigarettes.
Anything that affects your mind, mood, and behavior, it has a psychedelic effect on your well-being.
Exactly.
So they are class A, and the thing is that the only organic substances in class A drugs, it's only one organic substance in a class A drugs, and it's mushrooms. Everything else is artificial. So why would you put something that grows from the planet? Not only does it go from the planet, based on their studies, based on their science that they do, it's the biggest living organism. Everything on the planet grows from them. They use mushrooms to eat up pollution. You see, they're high in protein, they're high in vitamin D. People are missing vitamin D. They collect sun energy, and they outnumber plants like 10-1. You see, so something that's so abundant on the earth, something that's so necessary, the planet cannot survive without it. It's literally like the core of this.
So can you live off of like psychedelic mushrooms? Like you can OD on mushrooms, right? This is real questions. I don't really know. Yeah. Can you overdose on mushrooms, on psychedelic mushrooms?
You can overdose on anything, but the key thing is saying overdose, meaning that at any moment, what is too much for you in that now?
What I'm saying is, like, for example, if you want to eat psychedelic mushrooms every day.
Oh no, like, you can eat them every day.
As your meal.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Not like overindulging.
I eat them as a meal every day.
And
the thing is that if you're not with it's like any form of healing. If you're not going to do it right, you see, then don't do it. It's some medications if you take, for example.
Exactly.
Right? They'll tell you, hey, hydrate with this. Don't eat that. Don't put this in your body while you're taking this. If you listen, the medication is probably going to be fine, you see. But if you go, you take the medication, and you're doing all the shit they told you not to do, you're going to be fucked up. And so there's a right and a wrong way to do everything. So psychedelics done the right way, when you know that they're trying to help you cleanse your body, when you know they're trying to help you connect your soul, if you're not willing to do that type of work, then you probably should do them every day. But when you are ready to do that work, then you incorporate them for that time, because this moment I'm clear, this moment I'm focused, this moment I have the time. And one thing about psychedelics, if you don't have the time, meaning that I wouldn't recommend eating them every day if you're too busy to meditate, work out.
I know some people who told me they microdosed mushrooms for like a span of time, like a month, and they said their life got better.
Yeah.
Like they did a microdose, like not a whole crazy dose, but like a microdose in the morning. And they were just like seeing things clearer. Their mind was like working better.
I recommend now anybody, a 4-year-old child could microdose every day, and they would be amazing. You see, because the microdose is not designed to take you to that deep meditative trance state. Yeah. The microdose is like a brain boost. It's like an IQ boost. It's like you don't feel no psychedelic effects. You don't feel the psychedelic effect, but it's working on you on a cellular level that's so minimal that your this small tasks during the day are just better. So meaning that you're a little bit neater, you're a little bit more on time, you're a little bit more organized, you're a little bit more focused. So and when you do a heavy dose, the difference is it's all multiplied. So a heavy dose is like you're very focused. So you go into deep meditation, you go into deep stretching. You know, you really clean the house.
Yeah.
You don't just put straighten stuff up, but now you painting the walls and you drawing on. So now you really getting into it.
So let me ask you this: what was your most profound experience on psychedelics? May it have been mushrooms. I mean, have you done ayahuasca before?
Yeah, I did ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca, like any type of like, what was your most profound experience where you was like you ever had like an out of body experience or like an experience where you came back to reality and was like, yo, like I just learned something. I just seen another world, or like what would be your craziest experience while you were on psychedelics that you could bring back to this life and be like, wow, like I know that there's another life. I know that this is not the only being that's going on right now.
Man, it's my most crazy experience was I could see my entire inner world. It was like I was a cell traveling in the blood through each organ. And when I was in that state, not only could I see each organ, but whatever was wrong or whatever was, I could see like the parasite in there, right? But it would show me it, and then it would show me who in my life it represented. That was like deep. So it was like I was tunneling in,
like a scan of your body almost.
And it was scanning each organ, and whatever trauma, it would show what person. Like, you know how we try to find our traumas, and we try to find like what's the source of these thoughts and these emotions. Whatever the source of those thoughts and emotions that were holding me back from being my greatest self.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I was able to see what person or what situation or what event related to that.
And so you can solve that problem.
HD sight, like you was there, nigga. Like you was in a whole, like you was inside the body, and then you would see the organ, and then it was like a move or project of like what the situation was, or what the place was, or what the person was, and what they said
that caused
and that type of energy or their real intent. Man, it was deep. It was like this, and it was like this is who they represent in your life and what they fought, but not in just a negative. And then it would show me people like this would be like somebody in the future that you're going to build with if you keep going in the right direction. That these people, it was showing me that it's already alignment set up for you. But if you're not matching the frequency, you'll never see these people. You'll never build these people.
The frequency.
And that's frequency.
What it is. Yo, talk to me about frequency. You know what I'm saying? And frequency manipulation. Because when I first came to Costa Rica and like started getting amongst these real spiritual individuals and real like, into nature individuals, and I would see a lot of the people here wearing like the crystals. This is the first place I moved where I seen people wearing crystals and like quartz, like I like gold. And then I really started doing a lot of research on gold, you know what I'm saying? And they were saying that like gold is so valuable, but nobody really knows what it does. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. When it comes down to it, I'm like, if you're over there on the island by yourself, I pull up to the island, nigga, stranded, and I got this gold chain. I'm like, bro, I'll trade you this. I just need a couple mangoes, man. Like I haven't eaten in days. If you can't trade this, that means that you could die with the chain. So it's like at that point, why would you take gold when you already got food? See what I'm saying? And then I started getting into doing research on crystals, and I realized that every crystal and every mineral and every like rock, these stones, these precious metals, has like a frequency.
Yeah.
That can like enhance your frequency.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the secret to these things. They talk about like the Anunnaki came here for the gold because the gold has all this power that we don't know how to harness. So talk to me about like, what do you know about matching frequencies and like how does that work? What knowledge do you have on that?
So when we come down to frequency, the first thing we have to understand that frequency and vibration and energy, they all go together, they're inseparable. Because frequency, so vibration would be like the wave. The frequency is how many waves or how rapid that wave is. You see what I'm saying? So
exactly.
Something with a high frequency has more waves. Something with a low frequency has a slower slower waves, you
So
see, or
so
less waves.
I wanted to say one more thing. When I was doing the research, right, I started thinking about all back in the day, like when kings and queens even now still would wear the crowns,
Mm-hmm.
the gold crowns with all the
It
gems,
matters.
right? So I started thinking like, damn, you know what I'm saying? A radio, right,
Yeah.
is like a frequency module. So now you have like a metal antenna that's attached to a satellite in the sky that sends a signal, a frequency to the antenna. And on your stations, you're changing the frequencies and you catch whatever message is coming from that thing.
Yes.
So I
Yes.
started thinking that the gold now with the stones, I started thinking, damn, are they? And they were always the kings and the people that were making decisions, the controlling
Yeah.
societies. Were
Yeah.
they getting messages from somewhere else on? You see
With
what
the
I'm saying?
ground.
I started thinking
No,
these things.
no. So it's all. So this is what it is. That it's internal and external alchemy. When we say gold and we say crystals, this is external alchemy, meaning that the things that are not your body. Internal alchemy are the things that are your body that's used to enhance your frequency and connect to the divine. So the external alchemy, gold would be a good tool because of the high frequency, meaning that it can help raise your frequency,
Enhance.
enhance your connection with the divine. So meaning that you already got a connection, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your internal alchemy.
Exactly.
Now on the outside, God also, Source also made things to enhance your connection, like armor. Like armor protects you. Some jewels are good at helping you receive messages from your environment
Mm-hmm.
and from the stars and from the sun and so what happens is that when you do have these jewels on, they help elevate your frequency so you can match their frequencies. Let's say that your lifestyle or where you're living at, you're not in your best environment where you can go get enough sun, where you're not always grounded, so that goal is going to share its grounding with you. That goal is going to share its connection with nature with you because see, it's been solidified, so its frequency is not,
Manipulated.
it's not manipulated.
Yeah.
It's held firmly in.
Uh-huh.
That's what rocks and jewels are. That frequency has been held firmly in. It ain't walking, it ain't moving, it ain't breathing. It's a frequency and it's held tightly. And so the planet put these together and put these because it knew what would happen, and it helps us communicate with the planet, and it helps you keep your frequency high when you are not in the best situations. And of course, if you're in your natural environment, you still can wear them, and it's still going to enhance you. But it's just that when you're outside the environment, it's especially important because it can share its energy with you. You see,
Mm-hmm. That's
and
crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, I like to talk about things like that because when people say match the frequency and what you was just saying about, oh yeah, I was around people that have my same frequency,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden you start feeling more powered up.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because you've been here on this journey for shit almost a decade.
yeah,
Think about it, yeah, like, and you chilling. You know what I'm saying? You
yeah,
chilling. You're manifesting anything I see you want, you get. You know what I'm saying? And some people just don't realize like how to do that.
yeah.
And that's why I like to get with people like you and just talk about like your journey and how you did it, and I know you're really into fasting and
Yeah.
natural eating, and that's probably a part of I think why you're so successful in manifesting and living a healthy lifestyle. I think it's like, what percentage do you think is it of like consumption food?
I would say that a lot of it, almost 90 to 100% of it, is what you eat
Mm.
because that determines your response to the information that you gather. You see, meaning that we all have different experiences and we all raised different, and we don't understand that. Some people in the states ate very bad. Some people, they had like a farm and their parents didn't let them have candy and treats and junk food, and some people still had some kind of connection or garden in the yard or some type of connection with nature. And so when we see, beings that have more courage, it's because they probably weren't raised from the mud. Those who was, in the deep down toxic situation, who was very parasitic, who was eating always processed food, who was eating always fast food, their emotion, their mindset, the diseases that run in the family, it becomes extremely important for them to start fasting and cleansing so that they can strengthen their mindset, it can clear their mind, it can balance their emotions, it can strengthen their body and strengthen their willpower and help them release the fears and the traumas and get the courage to start making better moves for themselves.
Okay, so quick question. What do you think helped you most with releasing trauma? I know obviously it's a combination of everything that's going on in your life, but you think fasting can help? Because from my experience, psychedelics helped me release traumas I didn't even know I had. And then that segued into like the diet. So it was just I guess it's a combination. Like for you,
because even like this, when you had mushrooms, you ate them.
Yeah.
They were a part of the diet.
Yeah.
You see? You see?
I didn't think it like that.
They was a part of what you was eating.
You're right. That's crazy. I didn't even think about it like that. It's a part of the diet. You consumed it
and
into your body.
When you consume it
wow.
for a while, you don't even really want to eat.
And what's crazy is the psychedelics that I took was from a tree. You know what I'm saying? It was a plant.
You see?
It was a natural thing from the earth.
It was a natural substance.
And that's just what happened when I consumed it. Damn, I ain't even answer my own question. That's crazy.
And it's like what you were talking about with frequency. And so it's like this. When your diet is the internal goal. You see, the goal is stuff that you see, because what the plants have turned gold into something you can eat. And the earth's crust and the environment turn gold into something you can wear.
Exactly.
So if you do both, now you have a real strong connection.
Exactly.
You see? But when you lack in one another, it's good to try to do things to adjust to help you
balance it out. Yeah.
Because then you will start to match the frequency. See, gold starts to help you wearing it before you get it. It's like how you say fake it until you make it. When you wear the gold, you're not feeling like gold inside. But when you wear the gold, you see, you start to feel the energy. Like that's why the confidence start to come out. People notice, like, oh, that's a nice necklace. You see, it creates. Well, let me show you how gold works. Watch this. Let me show you the frequency of gold. Boom. This is gonna kill it. When you put the gold on, right? Boom.
Yeah.
Now, other people are going to give you affirmations. They're going to give you mantras. They're going to give you confidence. That's a nice necklace. That's a spell. That's a comment. So now you hear that. You receive that. And now you feel that.
Yeah.
You see? Now you start walking around. You get the idea.
I got a little pep in your step.
I got a piece on. I got a nice necklace on.
I'm out here. You know what I'm saying?
So now you're going to get a bracelet. You start to dress better.
I keep the grill.
You see?
So like that, you're right. When people see that, they automatically give you compliments. They give you, like, they power you up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never even thought about it that way.
The goal is sharing its vibration with you. See, they notice the vibration, but you're wearing it. So now y'all become one. You see, the thing is, they start to see you and the gold as one. You get it?
But you know what? I used to think all the time, I'm super analytical. So I used to think like, just because a rock or a stone or a metal is rare, what makes it valuable? Does anybody ever ask these questions? And I always thought that about gold. And then my birthstone in April is diamond. So I'm like, damn, the diamond is the most expensive stone. And it says because it's the most pressure, it's all the way in the bottom of the earth. And I'm like, just because it's hard to find it means it's valuable?
No, they have way more meaning to that. See, that's it. We still, this is when we get into the metaphysical part of things, you see.
Exactly.
They have metaphysical things. See, they know that it strengthens your connection. They know that you can tap
in. Who is the they though? Let's talk about, like, who is doing this? Because I'm like, why wouldn't everybody just know the truth?
This is when we say they, and we always say they, then we say the system. So who's the system? If we're talking about a system, that's the artificial intelligence. So meaning that the artificial intelligence and those who work with that consciousness of artificial intelligence, they know the power of these crystals, because that's the reason why technology exists.
Mm-hmm.
Technology exists because of these precious stones. Like they say, it's gold in your phones, it's quartz in your watch. So it's not just a stone that's hard to find. It's important for a watch. It's important for a phone. It's important for night vision. It's important for a plane.
And even
it's important for a car. So that's why it ain't just, you see, so they understand the true value. It's like for you to
and the body's electrical. And the body's electrical.
It's like electricity, copper. What creates electricity is copper and carbon. So these are precious and they're valuable. But now what creates more value? So why is gold? If copper is valuable and create electricity, then why is gold more valuable?
It's more powerful.
More powerful, but harder to get. would mean scarcity is what creates value. Meaning that copper is easy. You can get copper. You can get plenty of copper. There's copper everywhere.
But it has to be. But it seems like the more scarce things are stronger.
Yeah,
you know, like it's a
true.
stronger frequency. Yeah. Like the diamond is like such a strong, you know, rock, and it enhances this so much. Yeah, it's just wild, man. Because we're all like, when you think about it, we're all super advanced androids. We're just electric beings.
We're organic. We are the organic androids. We are the organic technology.
And it's like when you put these metals on, it's like, does it? And because like you put the gold in the phone, they say it's a super electrical conductor. So it's like you put the gold on your body, then it like you're conducting more from your environment.
Actually, it's just like right now I got on these copper rings and they have magnets in them. So if to show you the power of it, just like anything electromagnetic works just like a magnet. So just like when I go to black sand bench and it picks up the sand.
Yeah.
So you can see the power of it. So
see the power.
It's not even, it's invisible, but things like magnets show you the true power.
Like it's real. It's real.
It's real. It's not like a maybe. It's not like a crazy thing. Like, you ever seen, just anytime somebody talk about precious metal, ever seen a magnet, how magnet works?
Yeah.
You don't,
that shit works.
What's that force in between it? For some reason,
it connects.
So it's there.
And I've dropped my phone at Black Beach and picked it up and it's sand all over the phone and attached to it.
It shows you how precious the earth is too. And that's why this black sand beach is valuable as far as living here too. It feels different. Everybody come here like, man, it's different.
It is different.
It's different on black sand.
They can't really say what it is, but they're just like, some is just different.
It's the energy, because you feel the electromagnetic energy, and people not used to calling. You see, we're having this conversation, so we talking electromagnetic energy, we talking frequency. But people who don't know shit about electromagnetic energy and frequency, they wonder what the fuck is this.
Yeah.
You see, so, man, they just feel the charge.
You have to know you have to know yourself, man. You have to dig into yourself to realize these things. Get back to nature, I guess, you know.
And that's what wisdom brings. Wisdom brings awareness to what you're feeling. We all can feel the connection. We all can tap in, but without your awareness of it, what actually it is, now you don't have no direction. When you have awareness, now you have direction. Like, oh, I need to be here because it's electromagnetic, and I'm electromagnetic, and it's going to help me. Oh, my environment, I know I need coconuts, and they grow in Costa Rica. You see, so it starts to, your awareness starts to, and be living in the tropics. Okay, all my resources grow in the tropics. So in the States, let's say I know I need food, I can go to the store, right? That's one level of awareness. Now, if anything happens, none of my food goes around.
You do exactly.
That's another level of awareness. You see, so some people feel comfortable because all they think about all day is like, I can go to the store and grab this, ain't it gonna happen? And some people more conscious like, it don't happen before, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So, and I know one thing is that if anything happened, even I can always come visit the States, but it would be a great idea to have a home and an environment to all my resources are there.
Exactly.
But if anything happened, I can get there. My resources are there. I got land. I got coconut trees. I got avocado trees. I got mangoes. I got basil. I got oregano.
So boom,
the beach right there.
Let me segue. Talk to me about the afterlife. Talk to me about what you know and what you have experienced. Just beyond this life. Like, you had a daughter that passed.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever had any sensations, messages, feelings where you're like, I know this is my daughter, or like something that like that at all?
Yes.
Talk to me about that, if that's okay.
All right. So yeah, it's fine. How the afterlife works is just like the ocean and rain. Both are bodies of water, right? When you're a drop of water, it's like your life. And when you go to the afterlife, it's like you go back to the ocean. So meaning that you're in a stream of, it's like the soil of where you're going to be born from next. So you're like in a stream of consciousness, of conscious energy, of life force energy before it recreates itself back and manifests into a plant or a human or an animal or whatever. So afterlife is just a stream of energy, a stream of consciousness, a stream of breath, which contains the memories, all of the data, all of the information of every being, of everything that ever existed, that's still expressing now. So meaning that it always exists. So this portal of energy, what we say, the never beginning, never ending circle of life, is that there is no ending or beginning to this life force. It always was. That's what eternal means. Mm-hmm. That's what infinite means. Never beginning, never ending. And so this ocean of life force has always been there. And so this is why every emotion, every thought, You can remember loved ones, or you can see loved ones when you enter like this dream world, or when you enter your
Mm-hmm.
finite, your finite or your less dense spiritual essence, where you start to tap into your breath work and your trances and your lucid dreaming and your astral projections. You're able to tap in to see loved ones because now you're back in this stream. Like your body is here, but your breath and your consciousness is now in a stream of life force that's all around you, and you can feel their presence because this stream of life force is everywhere.
Exactly.
It's not like it's just in one place. It's in the stream of life force is the air you breathe. So when the spirit is next to you, if you're breathing, you're gonna be able to feel that spirit because it's an energy.
So what
It's
specific thing have you felt where you're like, wow, like give me an example of something you felt where like, I know this is my daughter trying to communicate with me, or I felt the presence of her spirit around. Like, you have any specific examples of that?
man, I can say I guess certain people and certain situations. I'm trying to think of a situation where she came up when I was in Costa Rica, when I was in Honduras. One of them, when I had my next little girl, like I can see my daughter and her, and whenever her birthday comes around, I can feel her energy then too. I can feel her presence, and also one time I always feel her presence, like even in and out. It's like whenever I've been focused, whenever I'm doing the work, and whenever somebody mentions her name, it's like they call her into existence. You see, because one thing about it is that a lot of times they want to communicate with you. It's
Exactly.
like it's like a text message, right? But because you're busy in the external, you're not checking your internal messages. You see, and so
See.
sometimes when somebody bring her up, it make you scroll down in your head to check their message and feel for her energy. And so if you're too busy in your lifestyle, you're not feeling for their energy, or you're not putting that thought out there to feel and see if she tried to call on you, you might not. You'll have less situations.
So like
So a lot of times,
meditation, basically.
yeah, meditations, and this is what another thing. This is why with people with psychedelics, they'll see loved ones. Like a lot of times, I gave people experience. Like she had one that she seen her past, like she seen her husband, and he came and gave her relief. He told her to move on, and her past, he died, and so he was like,
Yeah.
he told her to move on. And she got so much clarity from it, and she was so happy. And this is the power. Like she was in tears. Like she was so happy. I had gave her the mushrooms, and I had helped her because she was having a hard time releasing him. And by just seeing him and connecting with him, and it's not that she couldn't do it herself. It's just that just thinking about it, your body might not. That's when we talk about gold and alchemy and being healthy, because when you're ecstatic on the inside, you don't have a clear channel. So psychedelics and fasting and cleansing and wearing these ornaments, it helps you have a clearer channel to be able to receive things like that. So everything you're saying actually ties into this.
So what's the longest time that you fasted? Like,
I only did, boy. I did 70 out of 100 days, no food or no water. This is when I had the most powerful experience that I was just telling you about.
70 out of 100 days.
The off-camera powerful experience.
No food, no water.
So meaning
please elaborate on that.
So the way I did it was, and this is and this is a good thing for people to know, that you don't have to do it straight. So I say 70 out of 100 days.
But you consumed something.
Yeah, that's why I say 70 out of 100 days. So what I did was I do a 3-day dry fast, meaning 3 days, no food, no water, and then one day I fill up on fruit. Then another 3 days, no food, no water. So it was consistently like 3 days, then fill up on fruit, then 3 days and fill up on fruit, and I did that for 100 days straight. So 70 out of 100 days. So you still get the benefits, because it's like I was and even when I did eat, it was only fruit, so it was still raw.
Yeah,
it was still only fruit. But
you were doing a dry fast,
3 days straight, then eat fruit, and
you felt powerful. You said,
man, oh my god. Yeah, you be so light. It's like you so light. Your mind is so clear, and this is why the health thing becomes such a strong message. And fasting, like people like Dr. Sabi and all the teachers that you hear now talk about fasting when you get online, it's because in this state of being, it becomes addictive because of the clarity. Most people don't. Before you start fasting, you don't even know you can be this clear. Man, we both were raised in the States. Yeah. Before you ever did your first fast, you didn't start eating healthy and concentrating on it. You didn't even know you can experience such clarity.
Yeah, it's a feeling of clarity and lightness.
Like, man, I can feel like, damn, because, growing up, you couldn't figure out why your mind was attacking you. And when you start fasting, you can figure out, like, damn, what I actually consume, me working out, me taking care of myself, is affecting the thoughts that come in this motherfucker. Like, it ain't me. Growing up, you would think that it's you thinking it and there's something wrong with you. But then you realize, like, no, it's not me thinking it. I'm putting in these thoughts. I'm putting in this information because toxic food. Even like let's say I can't. Let's say I want to go get some Skittles. That's a thought. You're putting that thought and whatever frequency. It's just like the gold you're wearing. If you decide to put that type of information into your body, it's gonna affect the organism.
Yeah.
We just wasn't taught, raised up that it's gonna affect your mind. Like your parents will walk up to them like, if you eat that, nobody. You know what? I think about it. My mom never told me like, if you eat that, you're gonna have some fucked up thoughts. Nobody ever told me that.
Nobody ever thinks about that.
You see, nobody ever told me that if you eat too much pizza, your emotions gonna be fucked up.
I was talking to somebody about today too. I was like, yo, when I changed my diet, right before I left the States, and I was like, I went vegan for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? And I realized I was paying more for my food, for my fruits and shit than it was for the processed food. And I was thinking, how is that possible? I'm like, yo, the processed food has been processed. That means they took something and they had to like pay somebody or manipulate it to get it that way. So how is that cheaper than something that just comes straight off the tree? And I was like, I gotta get the fuck out. I gotta get out of here because this didn't take anything to process. Yeah. So how is this more expensive than something that you had to pay somebody in a laboratory to do that? Yeah, sorry, but I had to say, it's crazy.
And it's crazy.
And we're so immature about these things. But go ahead.
And the reason why they exist, see, it's an investment too. Why would they put so much money into making stuff processed and then make it cheap? That's not even a bad. It seems like a bad business decision until you realize the truth. It's a great investment to pharmaceuticals. It's a great investment to hospitals. It's a great. So it's like it seems
to consciousness. It's to control.
Yeah. It's a great investment to power.
Addictions.
Because you know what? They're gonna eat this, but then they're gonna be at the hospital paying that goddamn big ass bill. We gonna eat. So now it's like this. So you won't buy the expensive fruit. So you thinking today. They think future. They think plan. They think strategy. They think chess.
You know what else I think they think? I think they be thinking like at the end of their working career, by the time they're 65, we pay them retirement about 5, 6, 7 more years. Then we'll get it back in hospital bills, and they're gonna die anyway. Yeah. And so we don't got to pay them no retirement. Then we get that money right back. They done been in the hospital 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month for cancer, and they gave us $300,000 in insurance, and they did. Thanks. Yo, that's crazy.
And then it's not just, and then it's so deceitful.
That's wild.
Why? It's so evil that they even do it to the kids.
Yo, what's the end game? What sometimes I think about it, and people talk about the Illuminati and the founding fathers. I'm like, what is the end game? Why can't everybody just be on this planet, live healthy? Like, and people say, oh, it's money, it's power. But like, what is the big deal?
Because this is when we start diving real deep. This is when we have to expand outside of just our reality. Because when we start talking about artificial technology, when we start talking about other planets and what they communicate with for real, then we can start to dive into why. Because we don't understand that they're communicating with other systems.
Exactly.
You see, like we used to. If the Egyptians did it, right, with all this new technology,
they're communicating with other systems. That's what I thought too.
And so we don't know what type of deals they making with other systems to harvest. Like, you know what? For a certain amount of so let me show you how this. This is what I was talking about my story the other day. So let's say that it's one system. They're very advanced in AI. So we're gonna give you a certain amount of technology, but your planet has certain animals, certain plants, and certain minerals that our planet don't have, that we need to further upgrade our technology. Because we want to stay on top, but we're gonna help y'all. You see?
So there's other things going on. So they start way higher ups that we don't even know about.
So think about, they come with technology like an iPhone in 1950 or some shit. And they show them what their phone can do. They start showing them like, listen, we can upgrade y'all, but we're gonna need some things done. You see, and then they show them videos of, now we could come here and do it a different way. So we're gonna propose a deal.
Well, you gotta keep these people doing that just like they doing. You know what I'm saying? And every 10, 15 years, we'll give you some upgrades. You give us what we need, but just keep this going on. Keep them stupid. Yeah. So that this can keep going, because once everybody wakes up, then the jig is over.
And because they're more advanced in technology, or they might have been, let's say that their planet or their system existed longer than this system, however long that is. You see,
Yo, some people don't even believe in aliens. Yo, some of y'all out there don't believe in aliens. I was talking to one of my friends before I left from the States, and she was like, "Don't tell me you believe in aliens." I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people would just be thinking like we're the only things here. Just like,
it's not just that. It's just it would be stupid to think that when just on this one planet there are over 6 billion different organisms on this
one planet,
on this one thing, and then we're not even talking about we even got in the ocean yet. When we get in the ocean, that's a whole other planet. Really.
I mean, just the fact that we can fly off of our planet,
you see,
means supposedly we flew off the planet in the '60s to the moon and shit. That tells you that if a civilization was out there and they were 1,000 years older than us,
I'm gonna kill it. I'm gonna show people how silly they sound. Watch, a lion that's in the jungle has never been in the ocean, right? So another lion came and told that lion, let's say they speak English. We're using our imagination here.
Yeah.
Let's say they speak English, and he came to be like, listen, man, there's another world, and there's aliens down there in the world, like something you ain't never seen before. Man, that shit don't exist. So
let me tell you another example of that. I'm telling you, I thought about that one time too. I'm like, imagine you're a fish, dog. Yeah. Imagine you're a fish, and you get caught. You know how you catch a fish? And you get caught, and then get released, and you be like, "What nigga? Somebody call me out of the water, nigga, and sent me back." They're like, "Nigga, get the fuck out of here!" You're like, "No, I got stolen, abducted." So you went into the world. They examined me, and they sent me back, bro. I swear. And they're like, "Nah."
And it's just like space, right? You know how they say we can't breathe in space. So the other fish know you can't breathe up there. So you mean to tell me you went to the place we can't breathe?
Exactly.
And you came back
and
alive,
somebody stole you, and they sent you back? Bro, you tripping.
So you bit some hook.
You're like, look, I got a scar on my lip. You're like, fuck out of here.
Man, you got to fight with sharks.
That's crazy.
We told you to stay away from the sharks.
No, you're right. You're right.
And they have fine reasons too. They're like, bro, come on, man, you tripping.
You're right about that.
And that fish might actually start thinking he's tripping. Like, you dreaming. There was a dream.
You're right.
That fish might start, after all the other fish don't pick on him and talk shit, he might start thinking like, you know what, maybe I'm tripping.
But you know, I had an experience when I was young, when I first moved to Miami. The house we moved into in Kendall.
Yeah.
The kid that was in my room of the house, the people that lived there before me, he got hit by a car. Ended up dying, you know what I'm saying? And so when I was in that room, I had hauntings. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be at night screaming, like night terrors, you know what I'm saying? Like sleep paralysis. And then my mom and dad would go in my room and they had the same thing happen, yo. And I asked my mom just recently, I'm like, what happened? Because we left the house for a weekend. You know what I'm saying? And then she said they used frankincense or something like that. Frankincense, myrrh, something like that, like some sage type of thing. And a pastor came in, and they did that to the house, and then it never happened again. So I wanted to ask you about like you know when people say, I got the Palo Santo here, you know what I'm saying, the sage. I think the sage burns through different like fabrics of reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, can you tell me anything about what you know about that specifically?
Okay, so what happens is that plants, every plant is unique, right? Just like you have the psychedelic plants, you have things. So you have plants that help you. It's just like crystals. It's like, so you have the hard metals, and then plants are like the edible metals or things you can burn, which release its essence or its mineral or whatever gold or whatever thing that it's got from its environment. So let's say that sage soaked up, you know, I don't know exactly what minerals and what amounts, but let's just say it soaked up a certain amount of gold and more than other plants. Let's say it soaked up a certain amount of silver more than other plants. Let's say it got more copper. And so whatever combination of those minerals, it allows it to, when it be burned, to release the power of the essence in smoke form. And so what happens is that when you burn sage or Palo Santo, that smoke is at a very high vibration. You see it disappear right into the ether.
Exactly.
You see, so when it has the right mineral content, it can break through barriers, break through dimensions, and invite spirits in and keep spirits out. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So meaning that it's a positive energy. Let's say that it's a term people might know, let's say that it's an alkaline type of barrier. So meaning that anything on that force of life on that alkaline frequency can be invited, but anything that don't match that frequency has to get out.
And so, like, for example, from the research I did on like night terrors and sleep paralysis, it seems like these ghosts, spirits that are maybe in some type of in-between state of it seems like confusion. It seems like he was living his normal life. And I was just there, but only at a certain time of like sleeping, when your brain waves are at some alpha state of thing where they can actually, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. They can get you. Yeah. But then when you wake all the way up, like they go, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know anything about that?
But because you're more in that realm too in that moment.
In that frequency of your brain.
Because the thing is,
brainwave.
The only difference between you and that spirit is that you're more complete. Let me show you, for example. You are the same thing as that spirit. You see, let's say we only know spirit. See, spirit is all of it. It's only one realm. Your body is a spirit. This is just the earth spirit. So that spirit doesn't have a earth spirit. It doesn't have a water spirit. It's only the air spirit.
Yeah.
So you are the air spirit, the earth spirit, the sun spirit. You are all of it. When everything's complete, you are a being. So what happens is that when you rest, you start to get your body. You're not really contacting. You're not moving your earth spirit. You see, you're not really focusing. You're not hydrating. So you're not really. It's not really no. It's not no extra movement going on with your water spirit. So now you really just when you resting, it's just your breath and relaxation. And so now you enter the realm of that spirit, which is just very, very.
So the communication is between the spirits.
Yeah, the spirit,
not the physical.
That's why it's called the respiratory system, because when you're breathing and there's nothing else happening, this is always the strongest channel. This is why fasting. This is what you see, because the more breath you have, that's the spirit. That's the finite. That's the thinnest spiritual reality. Is that the breath, the air, the space. So when you enter those states of fasting, when there's no consumption, or you enter deep rest, or when you sleep, like we call sleep paralysis, is that you can't move because you have relaxed so much. The only reason sleep paralysis happens is because you're so relaxed that you enter that spiritual state of being, and you're not used to it. As a master, this is what meditation and yoga. All
it doesn't feel like that.
It helps you.
I've had sleep paralysis where like you're there, right?
And you try to get out your body.
Yeah, and you know, like you know something is there.
Yeah.
Like watching you, and you can't move.
Yeah.
But like you know something is there. Like there's an all-knowing. But then when you awake and something is not there, then it confuses you. You think, damn, was I just in a real bad dream?
No.
You know what I'm saying? But you know you weren't in a bad dream.
No, see, it's like this. You just, because you're so used to this. See, when we like monks and stuff, they grow up, they're always meditating. We're just not getting into this. So you're not used to that body.
Yeah.
So you're not used to getting in and out of it. You're not used to getting in and out of this state. So when you're in that state, there's a way to get back into your body. You see? But you don't know the technique, so you just kind of waiting on it to happen naturally. So it's like you're trying to force it now.
Yeah.
You don't know how to get back in. You see? Let's say that, I got a house and I got a secret door. You don't know about the secret door, so you try to get in the house, but you can't get in.
Exactly.
You see? So it's like you don't know how to get back in your own house.
Yes, it gets back to knowing yourself.
But you
see, nobody teaches us these things.
Yeah, that's what
I'm saying. Like
it's happening to us, but we don't. Nobody.
We don't know. Nobody teaches us, bro. Like,
and that's the difference between the Western and the Eastern hemispheres. That they grow up, they teaching their kids.
They're teaching these kids these things.
Meditation and these states of being. And so
they're saying there are spirits.
Yeah.
They're saying there are these things.
Yeah, and they teaching us that no, you tripping.
Yeah, it's a ghost. Yeah. They make movies about ghosts like it's scary.
I've been leaving my body since I was like 13. When I first told my mom, I knew I couldn't tell her no more. I told her one time, I said, listen, I was able to see you in the room. I told her what she
elaborate on that.
Yeah, I was because I was always just I was innately in me. I can actually say that. And so I was always searching for it, and I always found me. And I always believed some of the anime stuff. So when I started seeing stuff by Charles Young and Andrew, I used to watch the Eastern cartoons, and unconsciously it was programming me to accept that these type of things are real, like the spirit, and it resonated with what I was feeling. And so I started listening to like these brainwave frequencies and meditations and stuff at a very young age. And so I would put it in my ears. My mom didn't. She didn't want me to have. She's like, take my headphones out your ear. You can't hear shit in the house going on. It says somebody come break. They tell you somebody come break in the house.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit. You take them headphones off. So I would be in there, and so I would put them in for hours. And then it was one time I got to that, like you said, a sleep paralysis state, And I used to read stuff about, out of body experience. So I would try little techniques. So I would try to like reach out. Like the thing was, you would try to be still, and you would try to like reach out without reaching out. That's how you do it. So basically, you try to be as still as possible, and when you really relax, it's like you try to move as the breath, so without moving your body. And just try, even if you do it right now, you would literally feel like if you close your eyes and try to move without moving, you're gonna feel like a nudge of like something trying to move.
And so you used to leave your body.
Yeah, I would do like astral projection, and when I get out, I could see the room.
Because these are real things, though. Astral projection is a real thing that, like,
it's a real
that, like, people in the CIA be using, like, to
flying is the best
to see different places in the world. These are real things,
and so many people have these experiences now. Like for me, and everybody always say this: like when you fly in astral projection, it's some of the best shit. Flying in.
You see these type of conversations, right? People would. Some of my friends would say we're going crazy.
Yeah, but that's
you know what I'm saying. But these are real things that a human being can do. But we're taught that, like, what? What is you talking about? Like, no, you know what I'm saying? You sit your ass over here and you just do this. Yeah. But there's so many layers to being human. And I feel like the fact that we're not in that system anymore and we're leaning towards knowledge of self, you know what I'm saying? That we start to get into all these different things and see all these different metaphysical ways of being and realize, damn, we are advanced.
Yeah, we are. But see, that's what it is that it would seem crazy if you would go in a sense is if you would go back 100 years ago with everything that you got right now. Like let's say that your house just would teleport it to 100 years ago. Nigga, if somebody walked on you, they think you was like a wizard, witch, demon. Like, what is this things in your house?
I say it all the time.
So it's the same situation.
Imagine a cell phone.
Yeah. So the same situation is that they think we're crazy is because their body is here with you, but their mind is still 100 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, yeah.
It's like, yo, you gotta wake up. Yeah. Things is changing.
Yeah. Like
people are doing different stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like 500 years from now, I don't even think disease is gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
Eventually they're gonna be like, hey guys, you know, if you eat healthy and you're own nature, you don't get sick. You know what I'm saying? Like you can heal yourself, you can live to this age. Like people are just knowledge.
Yeah, the knowledge and the people applying it and it's showing. You see, like even like podcasts like this one, it's changing. We used to see the thing was that it was never crazy. It's just that people who knew they didn't have this setup. They didn't have the podcast. They didn't have it wasn't no
They couldn't
phones.
spread the message.
They couldn't spread like all this knowledge was always in the different the pyramids, the Tao, the Hindu, the chakras, all this knowledge was always there. There was no way to spread it. You see?
Yeah, for sure.
See now that's how they trick human. That was the compromise. It's like a double-edged sword. Like technology is going to help your world.
Yeah.
Now, so that's the double-edged sword, and whatever type of deal was made, it was made, or maybe they didn't have a choice and we don't know it, and maybe this is why we're being powered up now because we have to fight back because maybe the government didn't have a choice and they're allowing some messages. Maybe it's somebody working behind the scenes and allowing some algorithms to get through so that we can power up because they can't do nothing from their end. And maybe this is why the African man is rising and they want us to power up, but they can't show it or it's off with every fucking body.
Exactly.
It's like you ever watch a movie where like what's really happening that people don't know. They think that the dude is against them, but he's been behind the scenes. He's been moves like he's been behind the scenes doing everything for them. But they think that he's been the bad guy, and then they find out at the end of the movie, it's like, damn, you've been helping us the whole time.
The whole time.
So it's people in the system like that's been helping us the whole time. But because of their obligation and what they know, that if they unleash it in the way that you want them to unleash it, nigga, it's over with for everybody.
But it's people like you know what I'm saying? Like a plethora of other people that I meet here that show me that, you know what I'm saying, I'm on the right path. Just because every time I see you, you're spitting all this knowledge, you know what I'm saying? Like you're living your passion and you're living like good. Like, people in the States, they're living good, but it's not the same type of natural living,? So I figured like, I'm going to make a podcast. I'm going to spread the same message that I get from being around you and being around people, that I cross paths with. I want to spread it to everybody else, you know what I'm saying? So everybody else can get the knowledge, apply it whichever way they want. And I feel like, with the Love podcast, Gotta spread the wealth, spread the love. You know what I'm
I mean, to
saying?
be honest, I mean, with everything being said, like this is a beautiful podcast too. I mean, it's a lot of information being shared, and one of the things from brother to brother that I respect is that it's different levels of the journey, and it's good for people to see this. Is that because some people might come out here and be like, man, I don't want to live as close to nature as Goku, but they get to see that you can still come and you can still wear your, you can still wear your jewelry, you can still look nice, you can still, you don't have to dress, you don't have to be the monk, you don't have to be the
Yeah.
shaman. You don't have to be
balance, yeah.
You can still come and you can still bring some of your personality, your characteristics. You can still come and just be more natural, but you don't have to throw everything away. You can still have a nice house. You don't have to not drive a car. You don't have to throw away all of the things that would make it just too detrimental for your transition.
Mm-hmm.
You see that you can still come out to nature and get land and have a decent house. You can have a car. You can still carry, as we as black people, we got like a little swag. You can still carry a swag with you. You don't have to become the guru.
Yeah.
I'm playing
That's
my
cool
part.
too. That's cool too. Yeah.
I'm playing my part. I like being the guru. I like being a yogi master. I like being a martial artist. You might not be into martial arts. You might not be into, deep meditation and yoga. You might like to stretch. You might like to, I got boys like, like this. You might just want to go hoop. You might just want to go chill. You know what I mean? You might want to still eat natural and be more connected to nature. But you still are who you are in yourself, and you feel like you got a different purpose, and that you want to, connect with people.
Nah, but your purpose, is definitely,
it's
definitely dope. Every time I come around, it's always a super high vibe conversation. That when I leave the conversation, I'm like, damn, it's motivational for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, yo, if he has so much discipline and he can do this and he can do that, I'm like, everybody could just think that, but like everybody can't really think that way. But if everybody could think half of that or 70% of that, then the world will be a better place, man.
I mean, if the world could think 50% of the world,
it'd be a better place.
It'd be
a better place. But yo, thanks, bro. I'm gonna wrap it. Yo, we could have went on for 2 or 3 hours.
Man, we could have. Yeah.
But we're gonna continue this conversation.
We'll do another podcast.
We'll do another one, man.
I'm gonna keep flowing.
I'm gonna do more. I'm gonna be out in nature. You know what I'm saying? This one's at Costa de Gilly. This is my first podcast, my first guest, so I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do more out in nature, more by the beach, more different places, and get more in depth. But yo, appreciate it, bro. Yeah. Bless, man.
Love, bro.
Bless.
Love to the fam. Y'all absorb the knowledge.
Bless. Oh, before I end the podcast, this is the I Am King T-shirt. See how it's going.
My boy made some good shit. Love is the answer. That's a mantra too. Love is the answer. I am king.
I got the love is the answer gear. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put his information in the description. And if you want people to follow you, what's your handle on Instagram?
It's Goku the Golden Teacher on Instagram, Goku Aries RIU TikTok, and Goku Aries Ryu on Facebook.
And YouTube?
YouTube, Tao Master Goku Aries.
I'm gonna get all his information. I'm gonna put it in the description. I think personally he deserves a follow from all my followers because he's got some really good information, to spread and some knowledge. So I have all the information there, and then my information is going to be on there too for Love is Answer Apparel. I'll put the link there. So if y'all want any of the gear, you know what I'm saying? It'll be on there as well.
Y'all go support. Y'all support the rising, man. Support yourself.
Thank you.